Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm very well rested today. I'm going into my 3-day weekend and I have big plans to try to like just hit these costumes hard because technically today, like in my today, this look should be going up today. So we're gonna see how it goes. If I can edit it and get it up today, fingers crossed. I procrastinated way too much this year. So for today's look, I am going to be doing a fortune teller look. I have high hopes for this. I have like a bunch of accessories and stuff and different things in my mind that I kind of want this to turn out looking like, so fingers crossed we get there. Okay, so I have like somewhat of an idea for this look in mind already. I have fake nose rings that I found at Claire's and I'm very excited to put to use. And I'm thinking just like super blown out, smoky, like magical. I don't know how to explain it. I have an image in my head, so let's see if we can make it work. I feel like I need to start with my eyes on this one, which I haven't done in like so long. But because I'm picturing like plums and purples and like deep purples and stuff like that. I feel like I need to do that before I do my base makeup so that it doesn't get all like muddy and mixed in. So I'm gonna start out just by priming both my eyes using the Anastasia eye primer. So I don't know which one of these I'm gonna use. I might use a mixture of the two of them, but can I just throw it out there that the Be Perfect Carnival 3 palette and the Mikayla Glamlite Part 2 palette, Pot 2, sorry. How beautiful are these together? How beautiful are these together? I feel like these two palettes should be used together all the time. I think I'm gonna use the Glamlite one just because I've used like some of the purples, but not any of like the deep ones that I'm kind of looking for this look. And I want to put them to the test because this is like an awesome palette if you don't know already. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take like a little fluffy blending brush here and I'm gonna dip into Paht rice. I don't know the spin on that name because obviously they're all like based on her accent and stuff, but it's this one. It's this purple. And this is gonna kind of act as like a transition shade for all the purples. And I'm going kind of like rounded with the shape. I'm not doing like the drawn out like cat eye sort of look with this one. Like look at that. That took minimal effort for blending. I absolutely just love this palette. It makes me want to buy so much more from Glamlite. Oh, also guys, I don't have a spooky mug. I actually have a Christmas mug. I'm sorry. It's cute though. It looks like me because it has red hair. My Nana, I think, got it. Or maybe Emma, or maybe both of them, I don't know. But I do have my little kitty ears and Halloween music playing, so I feel like that makes up for it, right? I don't know if I've ever really had an eyeshadow palette that was so low effort blending before this one. Let me just tell you that. So if you like these color tones, get it. Get it immediately, and probably the other one that she had. I didn't get it, sorry. I like green, but literally I'm like barely even trying. I'm just like going around in circles, fluffing it back and forth, and it's just doing the work for me. How amazing is that? Okay, so now I'm gonna grab Mimu, which is just a little bit darker. It is that one right there. It's upside down. The palette's upside down. Sorry, it's right there. And I'm using the same brush, but I'm going to like focus this one a little bit lower than where the top of this blown out purple is. And if you feel like you've taken this color a little bit too high or just kind of blended away the previous one, you can always like go back a step and just kind of like take that lighter purple and just lightly diffuse it over top of that line there. So then I'm just switching to kind of like a packing brush, and I'm going to take the shade Authenticity, which is just like the darkest purple in the palette, and I'm going to pack that one over my entire lid where this is. I'm just going to kind of like blend it into the purples that we've already laid down, and like I said, if you go a little bit too high or it just kind of looks wonky, just go back in with the previous color. Another good thing about this look is I feel like it kind of like adds to the look if you're a little messy, so don't worry if your blending is kind of like a little wild because I kind of like the diffused kind of messy edges. Okay, so then after this is kind of laid down, I'm gonna take the shade Baddie, which is this one right here. It has like a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's not a lot. I have an image. I'm gonna kind of like pat that all over, but then I'm gonna go in with like a little bit more of like a bold shimmer in kind of like the center and all that. You'll see, you'll see. But I'm just gonna start to like tap that kind of like over the previous work that we've done here. Yeah, I really like the look of this. I don't know if you guys can even really see it on camera, but there is, it's a very faint glimmer. You know what I mean? It's not like a full-blown matte, it's not chunky glitter, which I just kind of like as like the base sparkle to everything. Okay, and now for a little bit of fun, I'm gonna take the shade, oh my god, it's GAHD. And then it's this one with the super sparkles going on here. And I'm just going to use, I think I'm just gonna use a fingertip and just kind of focus that in like the center of the eye, but I'm gonna like bring it up pretty far. Yes, absolutely. Okay, this was the move. And like I said, I'm literally bringing it like all the way up the center. And if you go a little bit too far over, because it's gonna be kind of like a halo effect sort of thing, just take the previous brush with like the darker color on it and just lightly tap over those inner and outer edges here. Okay, so this is already beautiful and I'm like fully obsessed, but I'm gonna take it up just another level, just another little level. I'm gonna take this little like small packing brush. I'm gonna mist it with a little bit of the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. And I'm gonna go back into that shade and I'm gonna dip it in there with like the damp brush, and then I'm going to spritz it one more time over top. And then I'm gonna focus it like in the very, very center. So like not even really going all the way to the edges of the sparkle in the center, if that makes sense. Hi! Hi! Look, it just takes it up just one little level. Oh my gosh, like look. Oh, it's so beautiful. Go buy this palette if it's still available, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch to working on the face. I was gonna do the lower bit, but I feel like it's gonna be weird to blend my foundation situation into it. So we're just gonna do the face now. So I'm gonna take a makeup wipe because I definitely have so much purple glitter underneath of my face. And I'm just gonna clean that up first. Okay, and then as far as like foundation, I'm only using concealer just like I've been doing for a hot minute. But I'm gonna use a mixture of the Revlon Candid PhotoReady concealer and a little bit of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And I'm literally just gonna kind of pack that where it needs fixin'. Under my eyes, this freaking jerk that is just barging into my life unwarranted. And the Revlon one is just not like the shade that I usually like to wear, so that's why I'm like incorporating the Too Faced one, because it's just, I think, like the lightest concealer that I own. I'm careful on this outer edge because I still want that to be kind of a little messy and a little diffuse, so I don't really want to like cover a whole bunch of that. And then to set all of that, I'm just gonna go in with the Beauty Bakerie Pinch of Flour translucent setting powder. And I'm just using a brush to like dust this all over my face. And then I'm gonna go back in with a sponge to kind of like bake under my eyes and to set this. So then as far as contour, I'm being super original and I'm going in with my Anastasia light to medium contour kit. And I use the lightest shade with just like a dab of the medium shade. And then just switching from a big fluffy brush to a more angled situation here. I'm just using the lightest shade on the sides of my nose. And then when I switch to my cheekbones, I do the same thing that I did on the forehead. So lightest shade with a dab of the medium color. And anytime I have like a blemish, like right in my contour area, I don't like wipe over top of the like that area. I honestly just kind of dab so that it doesn't like totally make it visible again. And then as far as blush, I might do like a mixture of things because I don't really know what one I'm gonna want the most. But I kind of want the blush to kind of like somewhat tie into the purpley situation we got going on here. So I have three options. I have the Morphe 8C. Yes, I have the Morphe 8C palette, which has like some kind of like plummy sort of colors. But then I also have this Wet n Wild Ombre blush in Purple Haze. That's pretty purple. And then I also have an Elizabeth Arden blush in the shade Plum Perfection. So I don't know, I'm just gonna play around and just see which one I end up liking the most. But I think I'm gonna start out with the Wet n Wild one because that one's just kind of speaking to me a little bit louder. And it's an ombre blush, so like half of it is pink, half of it's purple. I'm just focusing it in the purple section. I feel like I had a NYX one. Okay, and I actually forgot that I had this NYX ombre blush in the shade Code Breaker. This one's like super purple. I'm gonna use this one first. Yes, absolutely yes, this is the one. And when I get up to the temple area, I'm just like taking the tip of this angled blush brush here and dabbing it like between the eyeshadow and the blush so that it kind of just like blends outward. It looks crazy. It looks crazy. I promise I have a goal. Trust the process. I'm just taking a blank brush and just kind of like dabbing and going around the edges and all that good stuff of this color. It kind of just helps it mesh into the skin and like blend with the other things that we had on our face. This is also usually the step where I will kind of like brush away any of that leftover powder that I had baking under my eyes. Okay, and I have literally the most perfect highlighter for this look, but I have to go grab it. Hang on. I used to wear this highlighter all the time when I was in college, and I remember getting so many compliments on it. It is the Laura Geller Diamond Dust highlighter. This one has like such a pretty like pinky purple. It looks white. I don't know if you could even like see the pinky purple, but it's so pretty. Like, tell me that's not the perfect highlighter for this. And I always take this over my brow bone, and this is kind of also going to be like a brow bone highlight here. And as I always do with my highlight, I'm just going back in with this blank little e.l.f. brush and just dabbing over it just to help mesh it all together. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera, and then I'll come back to do like the lower lash line and all that fun stuff. Okay, so my brows are all done. I also just cleared off my lips because the foundation was driving me crazy. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line. So I'm going to take kind of like a little just flat top brush, and I'm gonna dip into that Authenticity shade, the darkest of all of the purples that we used. And I'm just gonna start to run that right along my lower lash line. What is this scary song? And don't forget to always like make sure that this is tying in with the top on this outer portion here. Make sure too that when you're doing the lower lash line here, after we've already like done our whole face, that when you dip into the color, I always just tap my brush once just to kind of get any of that fallout off. I wasn't doing that when I was doing the top because, like I said, we didn't have any makeup on our face already, and it didn't really matter. Luckily, these colors are crazy pigmented, but they also don't have a whole lot of fallout, so that's kind of nice. I was just being excessive on my lid because I really wanted to pack that color in there, so it did kind of come down, but you definitely don't want any fallout when you're doing this right now. And then after I got that color with this flat top brush like really close to my lash line up under there, I'm gonna switch to kind of like a fluffier but like still pretty small brush, and I'm gonna take more of that darker color and just start to kind of bring the color down a little bit. I kind of want the darkest color to stop where the tips of my eyelashes are. So that's about how far I'm bringing this one down in comparison to what we just did. I hope you could see that. It looked a little blurry for a sec. Is it still blurry? Is it still blurry? Stop being blurry. Stop focusing on the mirror. The mirror is not the center of attention here. So now I'm gonna go back to that Mimu shade. I'm working backwards in colors now. Before I was working from lightest to darkest, now I'm working from darkest to lightest. So I'm gonna dip into that Mimu shade and just start to blend this down even further. And in the middle, so on the inner portion right here, I'm literally just doing this. Like just right along the edge just to kind of like help diffuse that color. I'm not bringing it really down any further. And same thing on this outer portion here. I'm just literally using it to kind of blend out that darker color. Now on the center on the bottom here, I am going to also use that to blend out the darker color, but I'm gonna start to bring this down further. So that in the center, it's kind of drawing down, if that makes sense. Almost kind of creating like a V sort of thing here. Just like that, only I'm just gonna start to like build the pigment up a little bit. So kind of like this. But really make sure to kind of diffuse those edges, because you could kind of cross a line of looking a bit like a clown, like you know how they do triangles of the clown. So don't want to look clowny. So just make sure that the edges are really diffused, even if you need to dip into that lightest purple shade. I didn't, but if you need to, that could help to kind of like blend it out. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other eye. And it's okay if you go a little bit overboard with this one. I'm literally just taking more of this highlighter after I kind of like blended the heck out of this corner because I brought it down a little bit too much. And then just go back over it with your highlighter. Fill in this little space here with highlight. It's okay. No one will ever know that you brought it down too far. And if you brought it down a little bit too far on the inner portion, just take a fluffy brush with a little bit more of your setting powder and just floof it in there. It'll lighten it back up and it'll kind of just diffuse that out. Problem solved. So now I'm literally just going to mirror on the bottom what we did on the top. So I'm going to dip back into that baddie kind of shimmery shade and just lightly cover like all of this purple with just a little bit of shimmer. And then I'm going to go back in with the, oh my god, shade. And then just focus it on the center, bringing it literally all the way down to the tip of this. Big shocker, my battery died, so I finished one eye. Sorry. So this is the end result. This is what we're going for here. So like I said, just tap baddie over top of all this purple underneath of here. And then just going in again with like the pad of my finger into that sparkly shade. Just rubbing that right in the center of the eye and then dabbing downward towards the point of that little triangular shape we made there. And then just taking more of the setting spray on that brush, I'm just going to take more of that shimmer and do just what we did on the top and just mainly focus that right in the center so it's a little bit more sparkly right in the middle. And then with that same brush, as it's still damp, I'm taking more of that same shimmer and putting that on the inner corner. I did this on the other side and then I went back over it with the Laura Geller highlighter just to kind of like lighten it up a little bit. And then just touching up the brow bone highlight again. And then I also went in with the RuPaul Sequence eyeliner. It's just a black pencil liner, but it's awesome. And I tight lined the top of my eye. And then I also just lined the waterline. And now I am going to do mascara and lashes, but I'm going to do that part off camera. So instead, right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do my lips for you guys. So I am going to go in with the RuPaul Sequence just black liner to line my lips. But first, I'm going to do something that I've seen a couple people do before with these types of looks, and I always feel like it looks really cute. So fingers crossed, it also looks cute for me. I'm going to take that smaller fluffy brush and just kind of like wipe off whatever was on it. And I think I'm going to go in with the lightest of the purple shades that we've used, and I'm literally just going to lightly buff it around the edges of my lips. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but hopefully in the end it all comes together. And you like really want this color to be diffused. Don't do any harsh lines with this one. The goal with this whole thing is to kind of make it look messy, but like intentionally messy, you know? Oh my gosh, we look crazy! We look so crazy. Now I'm gonna take just the tiniest bit of that Mimu one, the Next Step Up purple, and just lightly, don't even go to the outer bit of that color that we just did. I just want to deepen up that color just a little bit. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that Beauty Bakerie setting powder on that fluffy brush and just blend around the edges just to make sure it's really diffused. Now I'm going to go in with the RuPaul eyeliner. I look so crazy right now. And then I'm just going to go in with that little flat top brush that we used for the eyes and then just blend this black like inward. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the Anastasia little lip palette here, and I'm gonna actually kind of mix my own lip color because I have a lot of like plum colors, but I can't really find the shade that I'm wanting. So I think I'm gonna play around with this light purple here. I might mix a little bit of black into it to kind of like deepen it a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that and mix up a little special color for myself. Okay, so I kind of mixed up this sort of a shade just using, like I said, that purple and the black. And I cannot for the life of me find a brush that I use for lips, so I'm just gonna use this little metal spatula thing. I knew I had one somewhere, just somewhere, but I can't find it. This is actually working pretty good. This is the exact shade I was wanting. So now I'm probably just gonna take a little bit of the Buxom lip gloss. It's one of those like plumping ones in the shade Selena. It has a little bit of like a blue purple sort of thing. And I'm just gonna focus it in the center of my lip. I'm also gonna go ahead and pop on my e.l.f. Big Mood mascara and some of the Kiss Naked Drama Ruffle lashes. And yeah, when I come back, this will all be, I'll be done. I'll be a little fortune teller. My battery's dying again. I'll be right back. How did I do? I am so unbelievably proud with how this makeup turned out. I'm not even joking. It is so pretty. So as far as my hair goes, literally I just took it out of the clip. I took a shower last night and let my hair air dry. I rounded out just like bits and pieces because sometimes my hair can get a little frizzy with just like a brush curler, but that's pretty much all that I did. I just kind of like brushed it. And this is like a little headband, like a cloth headband that you can just use to like hold your hair back. But I just like extended the fabric out and was able to kind of like fold it around the top of my head. This is actually a necklace that my mom made. It's labradorite, and I have it like hanging on my head. Like I braided 2 bits and then clipped it so that it stays, and then it just like peeks out underneath of this. This is a little fake nose ring from Claire's. It's a little snake because I always have all my snake like jewelry going on. I don't like snakes unless they're an accessory form. But I just thought this was super cute. It literally just like pops on there. And then everything else is just like random accessories that my mom has had from like jewelry, but then also like crafting over time. So this is literally just like a big green random, not stone, but like a plasticky thing. And I just did a little tiny braid in my hair and braided this into it because it has a loop on it. This is an earring. So I shoved it through where the hairband was and then just put the back on it so it's dangling from the braid. And then same thing with these. This is like a long, I don't even think this was like technically meant as an earring. I probably did this as a kid, but I hung this, the little hook for the earring. I hung that through a braid, and then same thing with this. This just has like a post that I just put through the braid. And then I have these little moon earrings, which on brand, obviously. I don't remember where I got them from. They could have been like a Ross TJ Maxx find probably. And then these are just like random little things again that my mom had. So this I think was like a keychain and she put it on like a leather necklace. This was a necklace of my little sister's. This is just like a really old key that we found at like an antique shop and she just like put it on a leather cord. And then this, I don't really know what it is. It has a peace sign on the other side, but I felt like the turquoise kind of made a little bit more sense. I don't know. And then I have all of these rings. Obviously that's just my wedding band. But yes, my mom actually made this one. This was a little stone that I found like outdoors at school, and then she made it into a ring. I think this was like one of her first ones that she ever made. I want to say this one I found at CVS, I think. Not sure about this. I want to say maybe Charlotte Russe on this one. This is the ring that I just wear all the time. My mom got it for me for Christmas last year. And then I have literally no idea where this one came from. So, but yeah, I just loaded a whole bunch of jewelry and stuff on. This little shirt, maybe Ross, maybe Rue 21. I've had it for a while. I wore this last year for my genie look. So I don't know. My mom had given me a couple shirts, but I was, 1, afraid of ruining them with the purple and black makeup, but 2, just couldn't get them on. They just didn't fit because she's little. She's a little person. So yeah, guys, if you're doing this look at home, you know, you can always just like follow the makeup look, but then literally just put a bunch of random jewelry in your hair. Hang it from braids in your hair and do a million crazy necklaces and rings, and I probably should have added bracelets, but that's okay. Oh, also, I almost forgot to show you one of the most important parts. I have a crystal ball. I got it from TJ Maxx like 2 years ago. Obviously, I'm not gonna be just like walking around with this, but it's a cute prop to take photos with. Also, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it with the light. It turns on, hold on, look at that. It turns on and it starts doing this. And then there's another setting. It's so fun. It's like my favorite. So do I look like a fortune teller? Do I look like a fortune teller? Alrighty guys, if you liked this look, make sure to hit that like button down below and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, throughout this whole process, I've also been making a TikTok. I'm going to take photos after this and post them on Instagram, so head over to my Instagram. Here are both of my handles. Like, comment, nice things, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day, a great night, whatever time of day it is when you are watching this, and I will see you in the next spooky Halloween video. Bye!